Story about the life of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Hazrat Ibrahim, known as a significant prophet in Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, led a life marked by dedication to monotheism and profound faith. His journey is an inspiring tale of loyalty, sacrifice, and divine guidance. Here's a comprehensive summary of Ibrahim's life within a 2000 words framework, capturing his early life, quest for truth, test of faith, and his legacy. First, early life and quest for truth. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was born in the ancient city of Ur in Mesopotamia, modern day Iraq. According to Islamic tradition, he was born into a society steeped in idol worship, with his own father Azar, Terah, being an idol maker. Despite growing up in a household dedicated to these idols, Hazrat Ibrahim began questioning the practice from an early age. His critical thinking led him to seek the truth about creation and the nature of divinity. Ibrahim's journey began with contemplations of the natural world. He observed the stars, the moon, and the sun, pondering their power and rules. At one point, he wondered if these celestial bodies might be divine, but each observation showed him their limitations. They all set and disappeared. His reflections ultimately led him to realize that there must be a single all power creator who is constant and unaffected by time. In the Quran, Ibrahim is shown as a seeker of truth, ultimately rejecting all forms of idol worship and dedicating himself to the worship of the one true God, Allah. Second, confrontation with his father and community. Upon discovering the truth, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam felt compelled to share his belief with his family and community. He confronted his father, Azar, urging him to abandon idol worship and accept monotheism. However, Azar dismissed Ibrahim alayhi salam message and became angry. Despite his father's rejection, Ibrahim alayhi salam remained respectful but firm in his beliefs, reflecting his strong moral character. The people of Ibrahim's town were also idol worshippers, and he soon became known for his defiance against their traditions. He continued to preach the oneness of Allah and argued that idols were powerless and incapable of influencing the world. This stance injured the town's leader and its people, who saw Ibrahim's message as a threat to their way of life and belief. Third, the trial of fire. One of the most famous stories of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam's life in his destruction of the idol in his town main temple. He smashed all the idol, leaving only the largest one intact. When the townspeople returned and found their goals destroyed, They were outraged and demanded to know who had committed this act. Ibrahim pointed to the remaining idol and suggested they ask it what had happened, subtly highlighting the idol's inability to speak or act. This act exposed the futility of idol worship as the people realized that the status could not even defend themselves. Furious, the townspeople and their leaders decided to punish Ibrahim severely. They built a massive fire and threw him into it, intending to kill him as an example to others. But Allah intervened, commanding the fire to be cool and safe for Ibrahim. He emerged unharmed, are miracles that demonstrate Allah's power and confirmed Ibrahim alayhi salam status as a prophet. Despite this miracle, many of the people remained obstinate in their beliefs, though some began to follow Ibrahim. Fourth, migration and family life. As hostility toward him grew, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was commanded by Allah to leave his homeland, accompanied by his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot. He set on a journey that would take him across various lands, spreading the message of monotheism wherever he went. His migration brought him to different regions, including Egypt, where he faced more tests of faith and continued to call people toward the worship of Allah. Over time, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam longed for children. Sarah, who had been unable to conceive, suggested he take her servant Hajar as a second wife. From the union, he was blessed with a son Ismail. The birth of Ismail brought joy to Ibrahim, and he saw it as a fulfillment of Allah's promise to make him a leader of nations. However, Allah soon tested Ibrahim alayhi salam devotion once again. He was commanded to take Hajar and Ismail to a barren land in what is now Mecca and leave them there. With deep faith in Allah, Ibrahim complied, even thought it was difficult for him to leave his family in such a desolate place. Hajar and Ismail survived due to Hajar's resilience and Allah's provisions of the Zamzam water spring, which appeared miraculously to sustain them. Fifth, the ultimate test sacrifice of his son. One of the most profound moments of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam life was Allah's command to sacrifice his beloved son Ismail. In Islamic tradition, it is believed that Ibrahim alayhi salam had a vision in which Allah instructed him to sacrifice his son as a test of faith. Despite the unimaginable difficulty of the command, both father and son were willing to submit to Allah's will. Ismail too demonstrated immense faith and encouraged his father to follow Allah's command. As Ibrahim alayhi salam prepared to carry out the sacrifice, Allah intervened at the last moment, providing a ram as a substitute. This act symbolized Ibrahim's complete submission and obedience to Allah. The event is commemorated annually in the Islamic festival of Eid al-Azar, reminding Muslims of Ibrahim's unwavering faith and Allah's mercy. Ibrahim lived a long and fulfilled life dedicated to spreading this message of Allah. His unwavering faith, patience, and willingness to sacrifice everything for his creature earned him the title of Halilullah, meaning friend of Allah. His life serves as a timeless example of trust in divine wisdom, humility, and devotion. Conclusion. The life of Hazrat Ibrahim is a powerful narrative of faith, courage, and devotion to Allah. His journey from questioning his society beliefs to establishing monotheism serves as an inspiration for millions around the world. Through trial, tests, and terms, he demonstrated unwavering commitment to the oneness of Allah and fulfilled his role as a prophet and leader. His legacy continues to shape the spiritual landscape of believers across the Abrahamic